Enumerate, to mention a number of things one by one. The enumerate function introduced in Python 2.3 does exactly that. It allows us to go through a sequence listing each item with a count. This is what the function would be doing behind the scenes in Python. So it takes an iterable, something that we can loop over like a list, string, or dictionary, and it takes an optional starting count. So if this parameter is omitted, then the start is defaulted to 0. The count starts at the given value, and for each item in the iterable, we yield the count and the item's value. So yield just works like return, but it allows the loop to keep on running. Then lastly, we increment the count. So in short, we're just assigning a count to each item in an iterable. Let's look at an example of the function in action. Say we have a list of a few chapter titles from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, already in order. We want to associate the name of the chapter to its chapter number. Typically, we might do something like this in Python, where we loop through the chapters one by one and define some index for the chapter numbers. However, with the enumerate function, we can do it like this, removing the need to initialize and update the index variable, saving a few lines of code. And you can imagine there's a lot of scenarios where this could be useful, where you need to perform some operation on each element of the list, and thus need to access the index of that element each iteration. For example, if we wanted to convert all names of the chapters to uppercase, so we could do it like this. And then if we run the code, we can see that we get the chapter names in uppercase with the associated chapter number. So this is why the enumerate function in Python is pretty useful. It is good to note here, this works because the enumerate function returns an enumerate object, which is itself an iterator. Inside the for loop, the enumerate object yields a tuple containing the index and the value, which is then unpacked in separate variables. This enumerate object that the function returns is an iterator, thus implements the iterator protocol, and therefore has a next method. We can use this method to see directly the tuple that is being yielded by the enumerate object each iteration. The enumerate function could also be useful in this context. Say we're reading a file and we want to associate each line with its line number. So in this scenario, we have a separate line number variable and we get the result as expected. So each line is labeled with its line number. However, with the enumerate function, we could do this, which obviously looks a little bit neater and reduces the number of lines of code, but it still gives back the exact same result. Finally, let's look at a slightly different case. Say we're trying to create a dictionary. Its keys need to be letters of the alphabet and its values are the corresponding numbers. We could do this using the dictionary and zip functions, but another elegant way to do this would be to include the enumerate function in a dictionary comprehension, like so. This works in Python versions 3.8 or above, where dictionary iteration order is in the order of assertion. So if we print the dictionary, we can see that we get the result that we're after. So that's been a look at the enumerate function in Python. Thank you for watching.